how do you get your specific person to conform, to treat you in the way that you wish and desire to be treated, in the way that fits in with your new version of self, the new life that you wish to experience for yourself? I've already shared part 1 of this series of videos that I'm creating. So if you haven't checked that out, please do. I've created a playlist on my channel where I'm going to upload all of these videos. So this is going to be part 2 now. In part 1, I discussed about the power of revision and how I used it on my own manifestation of an SP journey. This one that I'm currently going on, I have used it in my past manifestations of specific people as well, and I found that very, very powerful. Revision is a truly powerful tool. In this video, I'm going to discuss 2 techniques that you could use to manifest that SP in the way that you wish them to be, putting them in the state that you wish them to be. So stay tuned if you're interested. Thank you so much, first up, for joining me. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Athena Raven. I'm a mental health and manifestation life coach, and I'm here to empower you on your manifestation journey, as well as lose my voice. If you haven't done so already, please do like and subscribe to the content. It really helps this small channel to grow, and I appreciate you guys for being here. It's wonderful to share this journey with you and to hear your fantastic stories, your successes, your journeys, and of course the trials and tribulations that we all go through on this process. Now remember, a specific person embodies a whole load of people. It's not just about an ex-partner. It's not just about a specific person that you've got your eye on, that you want that relationship with. It could also be your boss. It could also be colleagues at work. It could be friends. It could be family members. Just people aren't treating you in the way that you wish to be treated. Maybe you're not being respected. Maybe you're just getting ghosted at the moment. Maybe you're being met with a lot of animosity, and perhaps they're telling you they don't care about you anymore, whatever it might be. It's painful stuff, especially when it's coming from a specific person that we somehow deem highly in our lives, or we're attracted to, or we love, or we connect with. We just want that better relationship, right? And it's absolutely possible. I've tested this numerous times, as have my clients. I know this stuff works. I'm talking from experience, not just regurgitating the law. So I'm going to share this with you in the hope that you will also benefit from it as well and really put it into practice. Now, one of the techniques that I use, obviously I use for all of my manifestations, absolutely everything that I manifest, is imagination. I think imagination is such a powerful tool, tried and tested so many times, used in different modalities of therapy to elicit change. Scientists have experimented with the power of the mind and imagination as well. The fact that, gosh, what do they call like sporting people and stuff, you know, before they run a race, they will visualize themselves winning the race. They'll visualize themselves playing a match. And then, of course, they would have success that way, just running the track in their mind before they do it. There's been experiments taken as well, whereby people are taught the piano. They're not allowed to touch the piano. They're not allowed to touch the keys or anything, but they can watch, they can learn, and they can just imagine and visualize that they are playing the piano, that they are playing and touching those specific keys, that they're hearing those specific sounds. And it lights up parts of the brain that show the actors, though they've had that experience in real life, even though they haven't touched a key or played a note on that piano. Parts of the brain have lit up and they become the person who has played that piano. It's all there. That was a terrible explanation, wasn't it? But I hope that makes sense. So this is how powerful the mind is. Now, whenever I encounter an undesirable experience with someone, or I want to have a better relationship with them, or in my case, currently looking towards a relationship with this specific person that I have in mind, it can be a bit of a bumpy journey because we're struggling with those inner beliefs, sometimes taken from past relationships, patterns of behavior. A lot of the times those have come from childhood as well. And for a lot of you, you will be noticing this kind of glitches and bumps in the journey. You'll be noticing hot and cold behavior, maybe some inconsistencies. So it's so important to regularly bath yourself in this feeling of, what would it be like if it were true? What would it be like if I had that desirable outcome right now? I had that harmonious situation or relationship with that specific person, with that ex, with that boss, with that work colleague, whatever it might be. Sit in a quiet place or you can do this before you go to bed, and place yourself into a hypnotic state, perhaps doing breathing exercises beforehand. You really want to relax your body, relax your mind, tap out the conscious part of your mind as well. I'll do self-hypnosis on myself for this as well. You can just meditate or listen to binaurals, whatever you prefer. Just get yourself into the state where you can close off, just shut off all of your senses to this 3D reality, to this current reality that isn't serving you at the moment, and take yourself away, transport yourself to a vision that tells you you've got everything you want now. And in this vision, in this imaginary act, you want to ensure that they are saying to you the things that you wish them to say, that you are seeing them in a state that you wish them to be. And you yourself are acting and speaking as though you have, as though you are abundant, as though you are being treated with love and respect by this person. What does that look like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? Touch, taste, smell. Use as many of your senses as possible in this imaginary act, and you will start to evoke emotions within yourself, feeling calm, feeling complete, feeling happy, feeling relief. Whatever it might be, is depending on your situation. I remember when I did this with my very first SP, he had, like I'd mentioned before in previous videos, a lot of issues with drugs and cheating and unreliable. So in my scene with he and I together, I was visualizing him looking healthy, looking well, which suggested that he was off drugs. Seeing him in a scene where I captured the feeling that he was reliable, that he was working a good job, that we had this stable relationship together. Think about, what is it that you want? Why do you want this? Why is this important to you? Be really clear on that. And when you've established this, write that scene down, jot it down, allow your mind to work, or allow your imagination to work with you as you jot it down, pen to paper. You're absorbing it that way. Read it back to yourself. Does this make sense? Does this feel natural? Let's go into my imaginary act. Let's play around with this scene. That feels really good. And for some of you, maybe you'll feel some resistance to the scene that you picked. Okay, go and practice with another scene. Have fun with it. That's what this is all about. Have fun, experiment at this time. Find that scene that really resonates with you and subject yourself to it as much as you can, capturing that mood. You want to ensure that every night you go to bed, you capture this mood. You never go to bed in a bad mood. You never go to bed thinking about, they've ghosted me, or they're still acting this way. I'm still focusing on the past and the things that they said to me. We don't want to allow our mind to go there during this time. We want to focus on what we want, not what we don't want. And we want to capture that mood, fall asleep in it so it impresses the unconscious mind. And when you wake up first thing in the morning, you're still in that theta brainwave state. Your unconscious mind is still open to suggestion. So ensure that the first thought, the first image that you put in your mind as soon as you wake up in the morning is that of that harmonious relationship with that specific person. So that's technique number one. Technique number two, for those of you who might struggle with visualization or imagining a scene of you guys together or having some sort of harmonious situation together, perhaps you want to test out the telephone technique. I do this a lot too, because there's some days, even though I've used my imagination a lot and it's my mind, I suppose, is very well trained, I've got a good visual eye as well. Not everyone has that experience, or at least in the beginning, some of us might struggle. Maybe we're harboring a lot of resistance. For some of you, it might be easier to use this telephone technique or this conversational technique whereby you're speaking to someone, because maybe for some of you, you can't really picture what that person looks like anymore if you've been in separation for a while, or maybe you can't quite hear what their voice sounds like. It doesn't matter, actually, just so that you know. It doesn't matter if you can't picture them clearly. It doesn't matter if you can't hear their voice exactly as it sounds. That's irrelevant. As long as you know it's them, you know who it is that you're conversing with in your imaginary act. But if you want to just focus on a telephone technique, you might find this evokes more emotion. And what you can do is think of someone that you speak to on a regular basis. You can hear their voice clearly. Is it a parent? Is it a best friend? Is it someone that you talk to all the time? I've got a couple of friends like that I talk to daily, so I know their voice. And so if I can't visualize, or I'm not gaining enough emotion from my scene, or I'm not really feeling it enough to be real, then I will try this technique out where I am hearing a conversation whereby they're telling me about how wonderful my relationship is, how happy I am in the relationship, and me telling them this is great, they're treating me wonderfully, they're prioritizing me, they absolutely love me, he told me he loved me the other day, whatever it might be. Just adapt the scene, the conversation to suit you. What would you say? What would they say? How would they be reacting if you had this outcome? How would you be reacting if you had this outcome? What sort of state are you putting that person in? What kind of things are you relaying to your friend that they're saying to you, how they're acting towards you, how they're being, how you're being towards them, what your beliefs are? Keep this short, keep this concise. Same with the visual act as well, the imaginary act. Keep it short and concise. You want to loop it until you just get all the sensory vividness from it, as Neville puts it. You want to loop it until it feels real, it feels natural. I'm building up to a crescendo of feelings, to emotions, and capturing that and allowing that to impress my unconscious mind. I'm probably smiling as I'm doing it sometimes because it feels good. And then I'm just holding on to that mood as long as I can, wearing it like a scent, wearing it like a pendant, keeping it on me. And if I start to waver a little bit in my emotions, then I'll go back to it. You see, I was having a bit of an off day. And as a woman, we have these fluctuating hormones as well. So I was having kind of a down week. And of course, things were building up so well with SP. And then things started to dwindle again. And I started to go back into old habits. You see, don't think for 1 second that just because someone is experienced, is a coach in this, and I have the tools and I have the knowledge behind me, and I've done this numerous times, I know it works. Every single manifestation is fraught with its own limitations, with its own obstacles, with its own barriers that we need to overcome. And it takes time. We have to allow ourselves the time. We have to be kind to ourselves. It's like grieving. You're not going to grieve the same amount every time after each person has passed away. Everyone's journey is different, and every manifestation comes with its own period of transformation into the state of the wish fulfilled, into the state of having it, into the state of just having the faith in it, knowing that it's going to come to fruition, being able to let it go. But what I did was, I didn't actually sit and do any sats. I was just feeling quite low. I put my headphones on. I was taking little Coco for a walk, and I was saturating my mind with different scenes that just made me feel good. Now, these were scenes just about myself. So in a way, I suppose this is another technique. So maybe this is 3 techniques in a video. But I was saturating myself in this just wonderful feeling of feeling good, feeling confident. And I noticed as I was walking, as I was imagining and visualizing these things, my posture had changed. And I was just sort of standing upright, walking with my head held high, feeling more confident, just feeling good. I started to notice more people passing me by, looking at me in the streets. And then I think about an hour or so later, we come back, and I'd gone to do a food shop, and I was only at the supermarket for about 45 minutes. And I had this guy, it sounds a bit creepy actually, but he was kind of following me around in the aisles. I didn't really know. Then he came and approached me, and he was like, I never do this. I'm actually quite a shy person, but I just had to tell you, there was something about you that really drew you to me. I find you beautiful and stuff. And he was just really complimenting me and just wanting to have a conversation and for us to connect. Of course, I wasn't interested in that sense, but I was kind of laughing to myself inwardly. I was thinking, yeah, I know why you were drawn to me, and that I know I shifted my state. I felt myself to be more magnetic, more attractive, more beautiful. So I started to carry myself that way as well as feel it. So not only internally, but externally. Remember, as within, so without. This was reflected in my posture as well. And it felt great. And then literally like 2 minutes later, a woman comes up to me and she just has to stop me and start complimenting me as well. Now, in the space of 45 minutes, how often does that happen? You go to a little local supermarket and you're getting stopped by people and they want to tell you how much they admire this, that, and the other about you, or how attractive they find you. And then other people smiling, you're noticing more eye contact. And I just thought to myself, I use that to my advantage. Yes, build myself up. SP, you're next, hanging on to that belief as well. So in a sense, those are kind of 3 techniques, but 2 main techniques that I've shared with you to just give that a go, because they're specific to that specific person. The last thing I did, that was more about me just feeling magnetic generally. But we want to be specific with our desires as well. What do you want? Test them out. Let me know how you get on. See them start to shift, because I always notice this as well. I always notice a shift in their behavior. after I've done this. And like I say, it varies for everybody. For some of you, you'll see very quick shifts. For some of you, this is going to take time. There's no wrong or right to it. Just having faith in the process. This is all about you. This isn't really about them. This is about you and the concept you have of yourself and the perspective that you have of them. So making sure that these imaginal acts that you're using, be it telephone, be it visual, is putting them in the state and is putting your relationship and the situation in the state of what you wish to achieve, what you wish to experience. I hope that was clear, and I'm sending you guys all the love in the world, all the best on your journey.